Hello and welcome to the ARK of E Podcast. My name is Noah.
And my name is Gavin.
And we're the Blanchard Brothers, and we are back once again, pre-Oscar weekend.
Yes.
We came up with some stuff to talk about though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know, we're eagerly anticipating that on Sunday, but been watching a ton of stuff, so we'll do a little what we've been watching.
Yeah, because I got a ton from last time that I didn't get to.
So that'll be our movie ARK section. We are currently, by the way, in the midst of a severe thunderstorm.
We are riding the storm out.
Yes. You might be picking up.
The storm out.
Yeah.
You have to intro with that, dude. No. No REO Speedwagon. Right, you can take it on the run. That's fine.
We'll find something else.
Okay.
So yeah, you're probably hearing a little bit of that in the background. I don't know if this is even going to be salvageable afterwards, but we're just going to go with it. And if it's releasable, it's releasable. If it's not, you didn't hear it. So,
or it's Patreon fodder, as they say.
Possibly. I don't know. So apologies in advance for the raging storm. We're in Charleston, South Carolina right now. We have like 20-mile-per-hour winds, which doesn't sound that crazy, but walking around in it earlier today and driving my car back on the several bridges in Charleston, a little dicey. Little dicey. So, huge thank you to you for making the drive down here.
Oh, I love it, dude. Every time I feel like I'm
flirting with disaster, heading down the road.
Mm-hmm. I'm traveling down the road.
Excuse me.
Actually, every time I do that, I feel like Dusty in Twister, just blaring some Deep Purple, some Child in Time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's like no words in that, so it's like an 8-minute song.
Definitely Twister vibes right now. Anyways, we're going to try to not let that distract us. It is distracting me at the moment. Hopefully it's not distracting the listener.
Hopefully not.
Condenser mics.
What are you going to do?
Okay. We saw a movie together. We're way late on this.
Yes.
We plan to do a full-on review. We can maybe just, people have seen it at this point.
It's number one 3 weeks in a row, dude.
It's amazing. We saw Bad Boys for Life together with our mutual friend, Mr. Brendan Riley, as well. And I feel like we all walked out on cloud 9. I mean,
yeah,
it delivered, man. I did
120%.
We talked about our worries going in, just with the release date. It's been so long. Can they recapture the magic? Well, guess what? They did.
$296 million on a $90 million budget. That ain't bad.
And they brought it. They brought some heart to the table,
dude, yeah.
Which I didn't see coming, but totally worked on me as a fan of this franchise and those actors in particular. So I assume a lot more people have seen it at this point. We could go into a whole spoiler-filled review. We got a lot of shit to get to.
Yeah.
We will just say, I loved it. If we're ranking them right now, for me, it's like neck and neck with the first one.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever gonna touch the batshit masterpiece that is Bad Boys 2. But this was a welcome return to the franchise, and it seems like we know we're getting 4.
Gotta be.
And I'm here for it.
Me too.
I am here for it.
It's what it is.
The
it's like
one. God.
It's like somebody finally woke up and was like, wait a minute. You mean Vin Diesel wasn't in the second or the third movie, but he came back to the fourth one, and somehow that man has 9. Like, this is the 9th one. We can do that. I mean, this is even about cars. This is just about us.
It is very much the Fast and Furious-ification of
and I am
Bad
on
Boys,
board with
but
it, man.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
The one other main thing I do want to shout out, whoa. Dude, it's like we're on an arc.
We are, dude.
Yeah.
Day 47. We decide to discuss
sea.
Bad Boys for Life.
Yes. Oh, it's calming down a little bit. There we go. Okay.
Don't you have like God's ear? Can't you get this shit stopped for like 30 minutes or something?
No, contrary to popular belief.
Okay.
I, Noah Blanchard, did not. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
At least not yet.
I mean, now's a good time to find out. You could go outside and just throw your fist up.
Okay. Last thing I want to say, the main thing I want to shout out about that movie, Martin fucking Lawrence.
Dude.
Please come back. Like, can we put him in more things again?
Can we?
He was the glue that held that movie together.
Yeah.
And there is, I will still hold off on major spoiler, but because I know some people still maybe, if you're on the fence, go. Oh my
Yes.
God, you're not going to see a better like new movie in 22 right now.
Yes.
Right now, best movie of the year.
Yeah.
Best movie of the year so far. Anyways, but there is a very meaningful, shocking death
Oh yeah.
in this movie. That, I mean, it was one of those, I turned to you in the theater and I was just like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And the fact that again, they know the level of fan investment for anybody who's going to show up for this movie in particular after all this time. And it feels like it was just tailor-made for us. I could not have been more pleased with what we got, basically. And as a jumping off point for what seems like it's going to be a new run of movies, and they're going to happen closer together. We're not going to have to wait,
Yeah. And I think it's perfectly curtailed by something that we mentioned talking to each other right afterwards, but my little Tascam recorder died. But it's almost as if it was perfectly handed off of these Belgian guys by Michael Bay himself by making a cameo for like 2 seconds as like the quintessential Miami MC like wedding host.
And
dude.
they do the shot.
Yep,
they do the wraparound, the Bay shot on Bay.
Yep. And I just like, as soon as that happened, I was like, I don't give a fuck what happens in this movie. This was worth it. I'm on board. It could kill everybody at the end. I don't care.
There's a lot of great metatextual, self-aware stuff of like, we know it's the third one. We know what we're up against, basically, and like we still got it at the end of the day. And again, it had the laughs, but it had the heart. It softened the edges because Bad Boys 2, which I adore, it's a pretty mean-spirited like
overall
movie in general, and like the tone of it. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, and
it's a masterpiece of its kind.
I would say this, dude. The last like 30 minutes, that giant gun battle in Cuba, that's probably one of my favorite action scenes of all time. Like, I will fast forward the movie just to watch that.
When they go down there, and initially I'm like, it's going to be the two of them against a whole army.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, and I'm also getting a little bit of Miami Vice vibes, just because of them, like, walking into the favelas and stuff. And then when it's like, no, actually, ammo's here, and we're going to all team up, because, like, that's the way forward, I was like, this is actually really cool. Yeah. I'm totally on board.
Now everybody gets a chance to shine.
Yes.
Vanessa Hudgens, I said afterwards, had no idea that was even her in this movie. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So hats off. The story's perfect. I mean, giving you what it gives you with Mike Lowry that was never there.
It follows the Scream 3 rules of a trilogy.
Yes.
It's all about going back to the first
original
one. It's something that you assumed was true and finding out that it's not actually true.
Yes.
Or it's,
you find yourself dealing with a trilogy for now, but hopefully not.
I mean, literally, we got the setup for 4.
Oh yeah.
In the end, which is also complicated again, given we're staying somewhat spoiler free. It doesn't matter. Go see it if you haven't seen it already. We loved it. Endorsed by the Blanchard brothers, the Bay boys.
Yes.
We sign off on the non-Bay third entry in the series.
We give it the ARK of E seal of approval
for sure. Okay. I don't know if we have any other shared like recent watches. I've got a few I can shout. I mean, I've got a laundry list here. It looks like you do too.
Yeah.
So if we're staying aboard the movie Ark, while the seas have calmed down, hopefully the storm is passing. Hopefully, I got a couple. One I feel like you may have seen already.
Okay.
Did you catch up with Terminator Dark Fate?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you rent it, or did you watch it when I rented it?
I Redboxed it, and I wanted to say, in the future, when you rent things, just give me a heads up, because I'm not always on Prime. Sometimes I'm over on Netflix. Sometimes I'm hanging out over on Hulu.
What about Disney Plus?
Occasionally, at this point, now that Mando is done with.
Oh, dude, the Loki one coming out. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because then that means you didn't see Zombieland Double Tap then.
I did. Again, Redboxed it. Tell me when you do these things, because
these are usually like 12 o'clock late night decisions that I just decide.
Well, you have most of them for 48 hours, so like, literally help a brother out. Okay.
All right, will do from now on.
All right, just a friendly heads up.
Okay. All right, let me get to these two.
Can we?
Go,
Dark Fate. What did you think? How'd you feel?
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Well, I was
dude.
gonna say you totally diverted. I was like, oh, did he hate it? Like,
I forgot we were talking about that. I thought you were shaming me, so I felt bad. I wanted to
no,
just
I
deviate.
wasn't shaming. I
No,
wanted to
you
talk
can,
about
it's
fucking
fine.
Dark Fate. What did you think?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Where do you think it sits?
Definitely above 3. Not as good as 2.
I mean, obviously. So you're going with the 3 slot overall.
I would do yeah. I mean,
After one viewing, I'm inclined to agree with you, but I will say this. I remember, and I feel like you were on board with that, I remember enjoying Rise of the Machines at the time. Maybe it hasn't, and well, in comparison, I feel like it's aged well. Now, I never saw Genesis, or used to call it Genesis. I never saw it. Skipped it because Salvation was... I had a tough go of it with that.
see, that's the thing, man. I enjoyed Salvation because that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted for 3. I get it, okay? It's back in time and all that. Give me the future, dude. The best parts of 1 and 2 are the fucking future scenes. Seeing that hellish landscape that humanity...
I wouldn't say they're the best part.
They're my favorite parts, excuse me. Like the opening of 2 with like Connor in the eye.
Incredible stuff.
Yes.
Iconic stuff. I agree.
Yeah.
But, okay. So, we go to Dark Fate, which is essentially, let's take the best parts of 1 and 2, fuse them together, soup it up. Here's my critiques.
Mm-hmm.
A little too much CGI.
Yeah.
Gets a little ridiculous.
But is that Tim Miller?
Part
Or
of
is that...
that's part of that's Tim Miller is what
Yeah.
I'm saying, and I think it works in what he did with Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I think it just goes a little overboard where I'm like, okay, maybe dial it back. I know this is the 6th movie. Like, you got to add to the spectacle.
You gotta do something, yeah.
I get it, but there's also, you're going back to the roots in so many ways that it's like maybe dialing it back a little bit, going with like, I'm going to invest the money in practical effects and like doing some crazier shit, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Which maybe, I don't know. But I understand it.
What'd you think of CGI Arnold from 2 that comes back in the first 5 minutes?
That's what I was
better
gonna,
than
that's what
Salvation,
I was gonna
right?
say. That's what I was gonna say. Well, yeah, of course, much better
Yeah,
than
of
Salvation.
course.
But that opening, spoiler alert if you have not seen it, the opening where it's essentially, hey, this could be like a month or two after 2 ends. Essentially.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
I was like, how do they do this? That is the best de-aging.
Yes.
And I know it's literally just digital recreation is what I actually read. They just use photo reference and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like,
The body double they used
how
for him is perfect.
the hell did they do this?
That
mind-blowing stuff.
Yes.
And so to have that level of care up front when it gets to some of the more wonky stuff
Yeah.
in the back half is where and it's a little overlong.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think does struggle with what it's balancing, which is bringing. I mean, the draw ostensibly from the fan base is you have Sarah Connor herself, you have Linda Hamilton actually back in the role.
Yes.
This is huge, and we also knew you also have Arnie back in some incarnate because you're sitting there going like, well, he can't be the T-800 we know from Judgment Day.
Of course not.
It's like, so how's that going to work? Immediate question. But you're excited. It's like, you got the two of them back together, okay? And for the record, when you get to those moments between them and, like, it captures a little bit of the magic. It gets back to it where it's just like, oh,
She
man,
hated this thing, the entire part
I'm
of
just
2.
like, this
yeah.
this is never going to be T2. I mean, T2 is, as far as I'm concerned, one of, like, the 5 best action movies ever made. One of the best sci-fi action movies ever made. Just
time travel movies ever made.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
One of the best movies of the 1990s.
Yeah.
We could put it on a bazillion list.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely adore it. It's the first R-rated movie I ever saw. It's always held a special place in my heart. I love it. I love it so much.
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. I could not say Terminator for like the first 8 or 9 years of my life.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Terminator.
Yes.
Do.
Judgment Day. I want to watch a Judgment Day.
I need your clothes, your boots,
And your motorcycle.
Can't let you take the man's wheel.
Oh, I
son.
love that. They have a callback to the music cue that's playing in there.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of nice touches.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what I was going to say is I think it struggles with trying to balance her coming back into it, but also we're giving you a new character. I love Mackenzie Davis in it.
Oh my god, dude.
But then also, here's the new John Connor figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as a result, they all get a little bit shortchanged, but in particular, the person who, spoiler alert, is meant to be kind of like the next savior of humanity.
Yeah.
The one they're trying to save and protect this whole time. So, narratively, I was like, it's trying to do a little too much. I wish it hadn't been maybe as ambitious. Like, hey, you have a good core idea here of bringing her back into it. And I liked the setup of it, but it gets a little long in the tooth. I don't know. But again, when you get her and Arnie back on screen together and the dynamic they have established at that point, there's some gold in there.
Oh, yeah.
And the action set pieces, for the most part, pretty it's great spectacle. Like, it's enjoyable. It's just a little too much CG at the end of the day for me. But I'm sitting right there with you, and I'm like, it's probably the third best.
Yeah. I mean,
third or fourth for sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a huge improvement over what we've gotten.
See, here's
in the
the
last
thing.
decade from the franchise.
If you put Tim Miller in charge of what we got with Genesis and the idea of that, I feel like it's a way better movie, because the idea of like the whole Kyle Reese thing is like all blown to shit. It's not what you thought. It's a complete revamp of like what you thought you knew of this franchise, based on the fact that like by the time that Reese would come back to like do what he's got to do, it's all changed based on like this one incident happens with Jason Clarke in the opening that like completely changes everything. And so I'm going to go back and like I'm in this clothing store, and it's like, oh no, she's going to come and rescue him because like however time's gotten messed up, she knows everything. The T-800 from whatever has just been around, helping her this entire time. That's a neat idea. And I mean, Emilia Clarke's Emilia Clarke. I think she did all right in it. Not really a big fan of John Courtney as Kyle Reese. He's great in everything else he does. I just don't buy him as Kyle Reese. Honestly, I don't.
He's great in everything else.
Yeah, dude. Have you not seen Jack Reacher?
I've seen, yeah. I do. I've seen the first one. I haven't seen.
He's just
Never
really
Go
nice,
Back
dude.
or
like,
whatever it is.
You gotta listen to him talk to.
My
Winter
favorite
Mall.
Jai Courtney performance is Wet Hot American Summer. 10 years later, where he is. Oh my god, I forget his name.
Die Hard. Good Day to Die Hard.
Terrible movie.
He's good though.
Worst of the franchise.
Oh, it is worse. Yeah, but I mean, I buy him as like John Connor's kid, or not John Connor, John McClane's kid.
Fair enough. Okay. You mentioned Zombieland Double Tap.
Yes.
I don't really have much to say about it other than it was fun to like spend time with those characters again.
To me, it was perfect.
I didn't like reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
But it scratched enough of an itch in terms of like, I mean, if you want to compare it to like Bad Boys 3, something that's coming back to a franchise that's like, basically we should have gotten this movie like a year or two after the original one. I don't know why it never happened.
See,
there was going to be a Zombieland TV series at one point, and it does feel like one of those things where it's just kind of like warmed over version of the first one, where they don't add too much to it, but it's like, but I like Zombieland. I like the vibe and the tone of it, so I enjoyed this. I would probably rewatch again, but
Yeah.
I wasn't bowled over by it, and I certainly by no means thought it was like as fun and imaginative as the first one was when we saw it.
Yeah.
But the movie is also acknowledging that the zombie trend is kind of dead.
Yeah. When he's reading The Walking Dead, it's like completely unrealistic. Would never happen. I'm like, that's perfect, man. That's all I care about. But what I was going to say is like doing that the way they did it. When you're talking about Bad Boys, I feel like the Bad Boys franchise, they just knew like, we got this. We can come back to it whenever. And I feel like a lot of them have talked about how like we all just kind of made Zombieland in 2009 and we didn't think anything of it, because that's the first pairing of like that duo that goes on to do Deadpool and these other things, and that's kind of like their first foray into features, and it's like they got Woody Harrelson's a big name at the time. It's right before True Detective starts, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe right after it. I can't remember when it actually came out.
I don't know where it is.
Emma Stone hadn't jumped off at that point. Jesse Eisenberg had not done Social Network yet, so like, but he's done something already to be still kind of be in the know. And of course,
that was post Social Network, but maybe I'm mistaken.
I think it was 2009.
I think you're right.
2010,
No,
so
you're correct about Zombieland. Yep.
So it was one of those where like they just kind of made it, and they weren't invested. Like, oh wow, people love this. This is our thing. It was like they made it, and they just went on. And it's like, oh shit, this is still here. Well, we're all free. We can all get back together and do it. And it is self-referential. It doesn't try to do anything too big. It's serviceable, like you said. But I mean, that's all I really wanted from it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything. I loved the pairing of the two, like Luke Wilson and the other guy.
I was not down on it at all. No, and that's one of the better action sequences too. The kind of wonder, faked wonder that they do.
Yeah.
And I did love the ending with Murray and everything. That was great.
Almost married you. What? Marrying is when you. Oh,
just adding Rosario in general. I was like, I mean, who's gonna be mad at that?
No,
never. Okay. What else you got? I mean, I got a big one, but
what's your other big one?
Well, I saw 1917, which I hadn't as of our previous cat. I haven't seen it yet. Okay. Yeah. You do have to make your best picture prediction though by the end of this episode, just for the record.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Smart Money would be probably on that movie.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Okay. My big one that I just caught up with 2 nights ago. Dr. Sleep.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Dr. Sleep
No,
yet?
I need to. I don't need to tell you when I rent it this time?
I missed it in theaters.
Yeah.
I did want to see it. Shockingly, I did want to see it. You know how I feel about The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much I revere it.
Yes.
But Mike Flanagan, the director, had me intrigued. Always on board for Ewan McGregor. I'm always here for him. He's one of my boys. He just always is.
Birds of Prey out tonight.
Yeah, out tonight.
Gotta go check it out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I'm probably gonna catch it tomorrow or Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah. So I go in, post that, because it was really like rough at the box office for it. I remember that, and reviews were kind of mixed. I remember that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in pretty much with my arms crossed, as expected. And I was by the end, man. Excuse me, not by the end. It's 2.5 hours, right?
Right.
About an hour and a half in, I literally just say out loud to myself that, like, I'm really enjoying this. Like, this is really great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm surprised I like this as much as I did, because in the early goings of it, which Veronica watched like the first half hour maybe before she had to go to bed, I was a little like, what's going on here? I don't know. By the time the proper narrative of where this is all going kicks in, I was just, you got to see it. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, no, definitely want to watch it.
It's great.
Okay.
You might say, I slept on Dr. Sleep. You might say.
Okay.
You might be someone that would say that.
Okay.
Possibly.
I slept on Dr. Sleep.
Okay. That's my big one that I would advocate for. If anybody was on the fence or hasn't checked it out, and apparently there's a 3-hour director's cut, I'm buying it like immediately, because I am going to rewatch this movie incessantly. It is not The Shining by any means, but what it is pretty incredible. In retrospect, it might have crept onto my top 10 last year.
That's a big statement.
I loved Dr. Sleep.
Okay.
I really did.
That's a glowing.
It is not The Shining. I want to be clear.
I didn't think it would be. I mean, I knew the book. I never read the book, but I knew what it was. I was like, okay, that's
the
interesting.
way that he navigates adapting that book and reconciling it with the Kubrick iconography and what we all, as a populace, know as the movie version of the story,
Shining, yeah.
and reconciling it with the sequel to the novel.
Mm-hmm. The
way that he does that is about as flawless as I think anybody could possibly do, to the point where I'm like, I know it would technically be a adapted screenplay, of course, but that could have crept in at the Oscars in my mind for what he did with it. And I believe it's written by Flanagan as well, written and directed by, or adapted by rather. it's good shit. You need to watch Doctor Sleep so we can talk about it.
Definitely.
Okay. I watched Toy Story 4. It was good. It's the fourth best Toy Story movie. It's still really, really good. And I guess it kind of goes without saying, but I'm just sitting watching it kind of dumbfounded where I'm like, some of these visuals, man, like the level of realism at this point with some of the environments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, if you look at the first Toy Story, like, it's a little rough around the edges these days. It's pretty timeless, but it's still like, yeah. And then some of it, my jaw was just on the floor. And you got Key and Peele in there.
Oh.
Tony Hale is Forky. It's a good time. It's a good time. I think it's on Disney Plus.
It should be, yeah. I need to go check it out.
Yeah. What do you want to throw at me, man? Keep it going.
Good
Keep
time.
It going. You finally watched it.
Yeah, I messaged you.
Oh yeah, you sent me the credits rolling, and you said that
I would never put you in this situation.
If I was ever trapped in Rikers, you would.
Yeah, I would never be the one to put you there, but I
would.
I would run through the city all night to get your bail money. If
Well,
you
I
ever had to go to
appreciate that.
Rikers.
So, what'd you think of your first Safdie Brothers movie?
God, dude, so many that movie, and I said this to somebody else, and they thought I was fucking terrible, like I was crazy, but that movie cited it for me. Fucking Rob Pattinson is an amazing actor.
I mean, yeah, that's
like he is like where did that kid come from?
I mean,
he's been, that's the thing, he's fucking been there, dude. Since Harry Potter, he's been there, and everybody slept on him because he took that role in them damn vampire movies. And he did it, and that was it. And he's done systematically torn that around. Yes,
exactly.
It's like, did I show you? I need to show you this.
I will just say this: the first time I started to take a turn on him. What are you showing me? Sorry, I'm reading.
Just read this. Just read it. Just see what it says.
Read it aloud for
or
the
read
audience.
It to yourself. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want.
This is
it's
a
your
great
show.
podcast. You can talk while I'm doing this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never. I mean, this follows it up because after Good Time, I watched The Lighthouse, and I was like, of course, this fucking seals the deal for me. Like.
Yeah, no, you're reading me a thing about Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood, both people who basically don't have to work and have committed their careers to doing interesting, weird shit that they want to do,
and after being faces of these giant franchises.
100%.
I think it's dope, and I think you could throw Pattinson in there.
Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
Yes,
same people who have gone out of their ways to work with interesting, smart, international directors, directors of all walks of life, smaller films, and helped get shit made. Because again, they don't have to ever work again if they don't want to. So all they've chosen to do, instead of taking more and more paycheck movies just for the hell of it, just to throw it into the bank account, they're putting their money where their mouth is, essentially, and like, I want to make art with this. I did this big thing that I maybe wasn't that proud of, but I'm going to make good on it from an artistic standpoint by committing to doing like cool shit, off the wall shit. And yes, 100%. The first time I started to take a turn on him was Cosmopolis.
I need to see that still.
The Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I, because initially when he cast him in that, I was like,
yeah, I remember there being a thing about that.
I was like,
because that was fresh off of like Remember Me. Twilight was done. Remember Me had come out. It was fresh off that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Twilight wasn't done because you forget Twilight ran for like 7 or 8 years.
Oh shit! Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I mean he was doing stuff in the midst of it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that drug on for a while.
Yeah,
2 parts for the finale, if you recall.
Almost
Breaking Dawn. If I remember,
if it wouldn't die.
Yes. Okay. So
Good Time.
We say all of that to say, what did you think of Good Time?
I fucking loved it, dude.
I figured you would. I
You
kind of wish we had seen it in theaters together.
I wish, because we maybe have not said this, but like, I know I went into it when we talked about Near Dark. I fucking love night movies, just about the night. And it's like, all that shit happens to him. And I love it how his eventual end is just That's it. It's not a huge thing. It's seen from an overhead point of view, and that's it. It's nothing to do with him. And you've been in his face the entire night, and you've seen him go through everything to just try and get his brother out of prison because he put his brother there, and like, it's nothing. And the end with the brother going where he should be, I was fucking crying, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking crying, man.
Yeah.
That shit was just so. And is that Leonard Cohen that's playing?
No, that's an original song for the movie featuring Iggy Pop.
That's who it is. I knew the voice. I couldn't tell if it was Iggy Pop, but I knew it was somebody important. And I was
It's
like,
Iggy Pop basically doing Lou Reed, basically doing like spoken
Yes.
word, like Lou Reed
That's-
style, which
that's what I
Iggy
got.
Pop has done in his career.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean.
That shit, fucking the piano, that shit killed it, dude. I was
And
done.
that score is by One O Tricks Point Never, which I believe the main brain behind that is Daniel Lopatin, who did the score for Uncut Gems. I think it's all consistent across that and Heaven Knows What.
Yeah, dude. I don't even.
But
you
I was gonna say, but
the
as
fucking
soon
score
as
is amazing. Like the music is fucking dope.
I was gonna say, but I'm so glad because now like you're gonna be even more excited to go into Uncut Gems, and I
Yes.
can't wait to see what you think. Of it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
like
liked Good Time. It is streaming on Prime to remind people
Yes.
if you have not seen it. Great movie.
The Lighthouse. Watch that.
Okay. Double Pattinson double feature.
Yeah, dude. I got our pats on the brain, man. It was. Why is nobody talking about that for anything?
I mean, it got a cinematography nod. It has a lot of fans online. A lot of
And
a
what
lot of
did that guy
people
do
really
before
dug it.
this?
The Witch.
The Witch.
The
That's right.
Vitch.
Vitch. Yeah.
That
dude.
Yeah, Robert Eggers.
People should just give him money.
I mean,
do whatever he
I
wants.
think he's gonna be all right. I
hope
think
so.
he and Ari Aster are gonna continue to like push horror forward into interesting places. Even though Ari Aster says he's not making a horror movie next time out, but I can't wait to see what he does next, regardless.
Yeah.
Eggers, I think, is firmly like he's probably gonna continue to make these crazy period pieces that are like incredibly well researched and bizarre and weird as hell. Willem Dafoe. That is one of the biggest snubs of the year to me, is that he did not get nominated for supporting actor. Absolutely insane. That monologue, that like 7 or 8 minute
about his fucking food and his cooking. And all right, fine, I like it. He's like, fine,
You
whatever.
fancy me lobster?
Yeah. The visuals is
Yeah, I haven't revisited it yet. I can't wait to, but I will definitely. I mean, in the theater, pretty much. I mean, it knocked my socks off in terms of I was just like, "Where's this going?" I have no idea. I didn't quite know what to like make of it overall, but it was an experience, and it
Yes.
was one of those that I was just like, I was just so blown away by the performances, the look, like everything.
just the unsettling sound of that horn or whatever it is that's going off.
Yeah.
That every now and then, and just the noises.
Fantastic sound design, and yeah, no, I think it could have been up for way more technicals, even though it's the type of movie that's like, I would never see it even creeping into Best Picture. The fact that it even got a cinematography nod is amazing, but I would love to live in a world where the Oscars was like The Lighthouse and Midsommar competing at the same level that all these other movies are, because they should be, as far as I'm concerned. I hate that they're relegated into like, oh, that's this weird art horror weird. It's still horror. It's still a dirty word.
Yep.
You still can't nominate it. Like, I don't get it. Because again, Midsommar cinematography. Like, you're gonna tell me it's not one of the 5 best looking movies of 2019? That's insane.
What else I got? I got
You did a lot of catching up, brother. I'm so
John
proud.
Wick Parabellum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
This is basically, I guess, a part 2 to our. I guess this is part 3 of our year-end wrap up.
These 3, The Lighthouse, Good Time,
Gavin
Parabellum, I saw before
I think
Bad
the subtitle
Boys.
for this episode is Gavin catches up with
Blah,
blah blah.
Catching Up with Gavin.
Catching up with Gavin.
And while I'm mentioning John Wick 3, I want to mention, because it's kind of around the same vein, Hotel Artemis.
Didn't watch it. So give it a shot at some point.
I think it's kind of neat, dude. What's his face from? It's not Lakeith Stanfield.
Brian Tyree Henry
from
Atlanta.
Well, I was gonna say, isn't he Chris Darden in the OJ thing on FX? He plays D.A.
No, that's
Darden.
Sterling K. Brown, but he is also in Hotel Artemis.
What
They're
is
both
he?
in it. What?
Sterling K. Brown is
Who you just
Guilty?
asked about?
he's the brother. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Because they're the two brothers. They get whatever. Dave Bautista, always a pleasure. Jodie Foster, amazing. Fucking Jeff Goldblum. Are you kidding me, dude?
I did not know Goldblum was in it.
Oh.
All the other ones I knew about. I didn't know about Goldblum.
He's the surprise king of like.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'll give it a shot. Who cares? What did you think of Parabellum? As if I need to ask, but
can you give me? Can you just go ahead and give me the trailer for 4 for fuck's sake?
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But our childhood boy, man.
I felt, dude.
This is gonna people are gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Our Bruce Lee.
Yes.
As far as we were concerned as little kids, we were like, this is the next Bruce Lee. We were like, Double Dragon. We don't see it as kids. We don't get the full scope of like performance and everything. We're just like, he's fucking bad. Only the strong, dude. Only the fucking strong.
Only the strong, which you found in the bottom of that box that I got you for Christmas.
Yep.
I made sure I buried it.
I still haven't rewatched it yet, but
you gotta let me know if there's anything on that.
An
DVD.
absolute classic. For like literally, if we did like I was gonna say if we did a top 10 of our childhood favorites or whatever, but literally, if we had a Mount Rushmore of just kid, like, it's not a kid martial art movie. That's the other thing. It's like it's totally hard edged.
It's Miami '90s drugs. Like it's
basically Dangerous Minds with capoeira, right? Or The Substitute with capoeira.
He's not even a teacher, dude. He's just like a PE.
Yeah, because it's an extracurricular thing that Kerrigan has to vouch for.
We scrape the bottom of the barrel to get these kids. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. Anybody, listen, this is how I judge somebody. If they start talking about martial arts movies and like, oh yeah, this isn't this. First key is if they say anything about Steven Seagal, they can go to hell. Second key is if I mention Only the Strong and they're like, what's that? I'm like, bye, go the fuck on. You don't know martial arts movies if you haven't seen Only the Strong.
Okay. Anyways, DeCascos finally getting his due.
Yes.
Getting treated as like one of the most badass guys to
planet,
ever do it. Goes
Yes.
toe to toe with John Wick. But my favorite element of the whole movie, he kind of loves John Wick. Like,
yeah, that's
he
the
really
best
likes
part.
him. I love that everybody.
The two guys that fought him
from the raid, and literally, this is another one of my favorite things from behind the scenes. Apparently, this literally came from Keanu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe him and Chad Stahelski collectively, but the reason that he does not kill those two is out of respect, basically.
Yes.
Because it's like, these are the only other guys that are doing this level of shit. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, that's what it's in conversation with. To me, this whole franchise has been in conversation with The Raid and The Raid 2 Barandal. And it's been a tete-a-tete, and we didn't get to the third raid yet. Supposedly it's still coming. But those are the ones, that's what's one-upping each other at this point for me, in terms of like martial arts movie mastery and what you can do.
Wick
those are the movies in
gauntlet,
conversation.
And we got to wait for the raid, and then we'll get the response from Wick after the raid 3 drops.
Supposedly. But
it's like an East Coast, West Coast beef. Dude.
Yes, literally, the reason he does not take them down, though, is out of respect for, like, those are the only other guys doing shit at this caliber of, like, it's just...
For a split second, dude.
It's mind-blowing. That's why the only person left for him to fight in 4 is Iko Uwais. The lead of the raid.
Yeah.
The lead, what was that? Wu Assassins?
Yeah.
I never finished it. But,
Yeah, I got it.
The lead of Wu Assassins.
Yeah.
That's got to be his main adversary. To me, in the 4th one. I don't know who else it is.
Well, like...
Who are you going to bring in? After the Costco's, where do you go? Seriously.
Thomas Ian Griffin.
Oh, God.
Terry Silver himself.
If they... Then I feel like they would be fully inside our brains.
Yes.
Because I remember just seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, is that Mark DeCascos with a shaved head? And then seeing more trailers and being like, I think he's in this a good bit. I'm like, and I'm looking at the billing on IMDb, and I'm like, he's like 4th or 5th bill. Like, I'm like, I think he's in a good bit of this movie. And then sitting down to watch it and being like,
oh, he's that dude. Okay.
Dude, Mr. Zero. Like, holy shit. And they introduce him as a chef with a bunch of cats. As the Iron fucking Chef, dude.
Yes.
I could not have been more pleased.
But
we haven't even talked about Halle Berry and the dogs. And
fuck, Halle Berry was in that. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a
Out of the
whole
blue.
little, like, let's just go off and hang out with Halle Berry for a 45-minute glorious, like, action set piece with dogs and with Braun from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Is that who he goes to like that's the leader of it all that like reinstates him?
I don't think he's the... No. Braun was the guy who he shot.
Braun with
He shot one
Blackwater.
of the
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah, he shot him. Yeah, I know that. I'm talking about who's the guy
That is the torturer from Three Kings, among
That's
other
it.
things. I mean, he's been in a
G.I.
billion
Joe.
movies. I can't.
G.I. Joe?
It's terrible that I don't know his
I know his
actual
name, but
name.
yes, he's
He's
ripped-
been acting for like fucking two and a half decades
Yeah,
more.
he's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Those two dudes though, real quick. I was gonna tell you for a split second when they were fighting, I had this thing in my brain. I'm like, I know it's not these two, but in my head, I thought they were like Huey and Lewis from Double Dragon for like 2 seconds.
I mean, spiritually, they
the
are.
way they looked, the way they were fighting, I was like,
We've
are
talked
they-
about that. I mean,
Yeah.
those are two of the greatest stunt coordinators of all time
Yes.
teaming up in that movie, which is like a great meta joke and everything. But yeah, I mean, in my head, they are the like modern equivalent of.
I'm
Huey
talking like
Lewis.
I looked at them and thought, are these guys still alive?
Yeah.
Holy shit, are they? What? They did it twice in this movie?
Definitely has that vibe.
Yeah.
But I recently picked up Parabellum on Blu-ray. Haven't rewatched it yet, but I also picked up same day Parasite, my favorite movie of last year, which I rewatched.
When Terminator and there was like a week where they were all buy, now they're all like all rent,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't rented Parasite because I haven't been able to give it the devotion it needs to sit down and watch it with subtitles. But that's the next thing I'm going to watch.
I mean,
before
I
this
just
weekend.
say you gotta watch it before Sunday.
I am.
Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I stand by my prediction. I really, really hope it pulls off a miracle. Okay.
Another one. I got just let me run through these real quick.
No,
and you
go-
pick
go
up.
for it, man.
House of Jack built.
You finally got to it. Okay.
Fucking bad shit. Loved it. Crazy.
Is that your first Lars von Trier?
No,
movie?
no, I've seen others, but this is like me trying to explain this to people. I was like, do not. I told, like, I was telling somebody I was watching this, and they're like, "Oh, what's that about?" I'm like, "Nothing." Like, what is it? It's on. Oh, is it on Prime? It's through Showtime. Yeah. What is it? Don't watch it. Just don't. Because it was a girl I was talking to. I was like, "Don't. Just don't. You're not gonna like. Please don't."
Yeah, no, it is. It's tough, mate.
It is really
Not
fucking tough.
Not unlike most Lars von Trier movies, but it's a tough movie to sit there and say like, yeah, I really liked it, but I did really like
Me
it.
too.
I thought it was incredibly well made.
The premise is
and
perfect when you figure out what's going on.
I mean, yes,
Literally walking
but
to hell.
the tone of everything and the way it's presented to you. I understand anybody who wants to turn that movie off after 15 minutes, but it is so compelling, and it is
Yes.
moment to moment one of the most just like, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
Movies that I'd seen in a long fucking time, and Matt Dillon just going for broke. I hadn't seen him really like go to those places in a long time. He used to be
Since
like
Crash? Sorry.
I mean, as much as people like to shit talk it, to be honest, I'm not gonna sit here
Armored
and
car?
I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna sit here and defend Crash or anything, but I do think he is good in that movie.
No,
even
he's-
given like the complications of the character and all of that stuff. But he's one of those guys when I first got into like I'm gonna watch like fucking serious movies and shit, like Drugstore Cowboy, stuff like what's the one in the small town where all the kids revolt? Oh my god, great movie. Oh my god, it's skipping my
Small
mind.
town where all the kids revolt. Why
It's
do I not
so
know this?
good. Ah,
Small town where all the kids revolt. Matt Dillon.
is that Over the Edge?
Now I'm trying to think.
Yep.
What,
Over the Edge, 1979. A group of bored teenagers rebel against authority in the community of New Granada after the death of one of their own.
weird. Never heard of it.
Great fucking movie. Go check it out. It's rentable on Prime right now.
What other big? Wasn't he in something big though? Like big.
I mean, Outsiders?
That no. I'm talking like recently. Like I would have known him from besides.
Oh, I don't think he's had like a big studio release in a while that I can think of. Anyways, it was nice to see him again. Yes, incredibly fucked up movie, and not for everybody.
No.
But great. I thought it was great, honestly.
Last night I watched Prisoners.
First timer for that as well.
Yeah. Bruh. What else has that guy done?
Sicario,
That's right. That is that dude.
Blade Runner,
Fucking
2049,
yes.
Arrival.
There was the...
He's making Dune, which comes out later this year.
Okay. Hell, was that his first?
No, Prisoners is not his first.
Oh, what was his first?
I don't know. I haven't gone back to the early career, the foreign language films.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Incendies, I think, was the first one he got big for, but I think that's even like his second or third movie. Yeah, I've never backtracked him, honestly. But...
Wayward Pines. That's what I'm thinking of Matt Dillon.
Oh yeah, the series.
Sorry,
I know. I forgot about that.
I didn't mean to.
Wayward Pines. Yeah, we're not on the TV arc yet. So any other big ones you want to hit? Honestly,
okay.
I do want to shout out real quick a weird little indie that's available on Hulu right now. It came out last year, just recently. Checked it out. It's called Greener Grass. Plot is pretty much indescribable. I just want to say watch the trailer. It is one of the strangest comedies I've seen in a long time, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're a fan of David Lynchian type humor specifically, I think you'd dig it. If you're a fan of Tim and Eric Andre, I don't know. It's absurdist but played straight, and it is very surreal. Beck Bennett from SNL is in it.
Okay.
A couple other people. The lead two actresses are also the writers and I believe the directors as well. I had not seen anything from them. It's on Hulu. Greener Grass. Check out the trailer. Weird, crazy ride. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not I'm not shouting it from the rooftops, but it's one of those. There's certain people where I would be like, you got to watch this movie.
Okay.
I think you might enjoy it. I don't know, though.
Okay.
I'm going to stop. Excuse me. I got one more. There's a movie that I believe opens this weekend or next weekend called Downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Will Ferrell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Is the remake of a movie called Force Majeure from 2014, I believe. One of those that when it came out, I heard amazing things about it. It's dude, it's one of the best movies of the year, blah, blah, blah. Just never got to it, but always had it in the back of the head. I was like, you check that out. And this was finally the impetus. I was like, I don't know that I'm going to go see this new movie, but just the fact that they are doing an American remake of it now, let me finally sit down and watch this thing that I had heard great things about. Basic plot, family on vacation in Sweden. They're skiing at a resort. They're having breakfast, okay? A controlled avalanche starts, okay? But it keeps coming, and it looks like they might die. It's a family, 2 young children, fairly young couple, 30s or so. And the dad just straight up fucking bails.
Jesus.
Just grabs his phone and runs. Well, it's not, it is still a controlled avalanche. It's not a huge thing. Snow clears within a few minutes or whatever. And then the rest of the movie is basically in our time of crisis, when we thought we were gonna die, you fucking ran away from us.
Oh my god.
That's where the movie starts, essentially.
And that's Will Ferrell, I guess, is gonna play the father.
Well, yes. And I watched I had not watched the trailer or anything. I watched the movie, which is available on Hulu right now. And I was like, okay, I got to see the trailer. I got to see how they're going to approach this, because it is so much a comedy of manners and social awkwardness and everything. And it is in Swedish, but it is also parts of it are in English as well. Tormund Giantsbane is a supporting character, by the way, doing some just naturalistic acting. Everybody is absolutely incredible.
I gotta watch
performances
this movie now.
are amazing.
What's his real name?
Force Majeure. His real name? Oh, I have no fucking idea.
Everybody's just going to call him Tormund Giantsbane
for the rest of his life, and I'm sure he's fine with it. He has the exact same beard in this movie.
Please text me the name of this movie. I have to find
Force Majeure.
I'm going to have to watch it this weekend on Hulu.
Again, it's one of those, I just, the reason you heard amazing things about it is because it was pretty fucking great. I'm kicking myself for waiting this long. But, yeah, that's pretty much where I'll stop.
Okay.
There's a bunch of rewatches in there, but who cares?
Yeah. Okay, so Godzilla, King of the Monsters. You put Kyle Chandler in anything, it's going to be gold. I fucking loved it. Don't tell me it was stupid. I loved it. Kyle Chandler.
I
That's my
literally have seen it on multiple lists as one of the worst movies of the years. But I'm glad you got some enjoyment out of it. Haven't seen it.
Kyle Chandler.
Not going to.
Listen.
I'll hold out for Godzilla vs. Kong, directed by
Michael Mann.
Adam Wingard.
Oh, whoa. Hello.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude, though, like, Kyle Chandler. He kills it. It's perfect.
Okay. You're talking about one of the human actors?
Yes.
In a Gojira movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. This is the whole issue with the other one. Everybody's like, dude, Cranston's amazing. He's so great.
He's dead.
Cranston,
30
Aaron
minutes
Taylor
into the
Johnson,
movie.
and their amazing, like, father-son chemistry.
No, that's bullshit.
And then they fucking... I'm sitting in the theater, and I was like, you fucking bait and switch motherfuckers. It was like every trailer, Cranston. And then they come off in like the first 30 minutes unceremoniously for the most part. And I'm just like, all right, you're telling me there's an hour and 45 minutes left of this shit?
No,
And,
Jackson
and now I'm left
Jr.
with fucking Aaron Taylor Johnson.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. is in this movie. Okay?
All right.
What more do you need? You got the Hand of the King. You got Kyle Chandler.
Wait, which Hand of the King? There's a couple different Hand of the Kings at different points in time.
The OG, the bad guy from last Action Hero, whatever his name is.
Charles Dance?
Yes.
You told me this movie's got a little dancing with the D?
Yeah.
little D dance in there? Ooh, I think we gotta come up with a better Charles Dance reference. I was struggling there.
Yeah.
Think on it. Listeners, write us. arkv@gmail.com. What's your best Charles Dance joke?
Okay. But yeah, I saw that.
Are you telling me Charlie was dancing all over this movie?
Yes. Charlie D was dancing all over this movie.
Okay.
All right. And then of course, come on.
Dude, you can't just throw your hands up and expect me to know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Batman. What is his name? Ken Watanabe. Come on, man.
Okay.
You got to do it for Kenny Wu. Come on, or Kenny Wan.
He was in the previous one.
Yes, he was. Same character.
Okay.
Still good.
Again, call me when Kong shows up. Because
Okay.
Kong Skull Island, good fucking time.
Great fucking time. Loved
The first Godzilla and this one, not. I
They
don't care.
mentioned that Kong is like part of this whole deal.
I know.
It's great.
That's why I'm waiting for them to get together.
Got it. Okay, I watched Glass.
Then we can go to the theater. We can take bets on who's gonna win, because you know it's gonna be one of those things where they just they both beat the shit out of each other in equal measure,
And then something else bigger comes along they have to team up against.
and it's like freeze frame on the giant thing that they're gonna have to fight in the next movie.
Yeah, because Godzilla can't go on land for that long, right? I don't know. I don't know how this works.
For that long?
What? I don't know. Because you need to draw his
Reptile,
power from the
baby.
sea.
He can chill on land if he wants to.
Kong can't go in the water. That's it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't think he likes water.
Shit. I watched The Hellboy with David Harbour.
How was that?
It was
You're
alright.
Okay, finally we get to what the
I mean,
even I
Listen.
can't vouch for this one.
The Mila Jovovich of it all, I was happy to see her again in something that wasn't Resident Evil. It's all right.
Were you double checking to see if her husband directed it then?
I was hoping he had gone like, okay, this
Don't
makes
you feel
sense.
like him and Neil Marshall are probably like buddies though?
I'm willing
They
to
seem
bet
like they're in the same.
probably,
They
like-
travel in the same
they
circles.
might have maybe swapped wives or like
I
added
wasn't
Neil
going
to the,
there,
to
but,
the,
you
to the
know.
mix every now and then. They seem like those kind of guys. They're close enough.
Okay.
I liked the way he looked and moved. I loved Ian McShane. I just feel like you're never going to get over Ron Perlman, and but that was half of the reason why I wanted to watch it, because what Harbour was trying to do, I enjoyed his performance, just trying to do something different. I think the whole thing I got caught up in and being relatively close to what people loved as the Del Toro Hellboy movies. You were never going to get, if they had not done if they did a third one with Perlman and that was it, I feel like then you could move on to another one. But when you give somebody two and they're really good and you don't get that closure from a third ending, the next guy that come along and do something, you're not going to show up for it. And I hate it because I love David Harbour,
I know.
but and what he was doing was good. But in the context of everything, it was okay, you're trying to add in these other thematic elements of like King Arthur and like Alice in Wonderland, all this different like mythical book stuff, I can appreciate it, but it was okay. I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters, but I am still glad that I got to see it on HBO. So it was okay.
Okay.
I watched Glass. Amazing. I hate it. I hated the ending. I hated the fucking ending. Oh, I hated that ending.
But the balls on it, right?
But the fucking balls on M. Night Shyamalan, dude. If anybody is going to contest that, dude, that guy has the biggest fucking
giant
balls.
spoiler alert
Yes.
for Glass. Mm-hmm. Giant spoiler alert. Turn this off if you even give a shit.
Yes.
Presumably you would have already seen it at this point.
Yeah.
Just, I'm going to crush Mr. Glass. I'm going to shoot, split, whatever the hell we're calling him. The
You're
horde.
neutralize the beast.
The horde, the beast, whatever. And then I'm going to drown Bruce Willis in a fucking puddle.
Fucking man, like a pothole puddle. Like,
I told you this before you watched it. Mm-hmm. This movie, it was like he made it just for me. I was like, it had everything I wanted to see from like, okay, so what's David Dunn been up to? Like, the son's helping him. The son is his like Robin, essentially, or like Oracle, I guess.
Or he could be just like his dad, maybe.
The fact that they get to the confrontation with him and the Beast, like within the first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie, and you're like, where's this going?
Yeah.
Where's it going? I don't know. And then he teases you. He's like, oh yeah, there's this new building opening up, and we're gonna go have a big old superhero fight there and everything. And you're just like, that doesn't feel very M. Night Shyamalan. And then he ends the fucking movie in a parking lot. And I just...
He ends the fucking movie in a fucking bus station. Subway transit bus station.
The climax,
is
in the parking lot of a mental institution.
That really isn't even a mental institution. It's a front for these people who take out superheroes.
Because they don't want anybody to be special. Nobody's allowed to be special. Sarah Paulson does not want anybody to be special.
I've given that bitch so many fucking chances and stuff, dude. I can't handle her anymore. She's lost it. She couldn't put OJ away, and now she's done this. I can't deal with her anymore. She's got to show me something.
Great actress, though.
Oh my God,
I just wanted to be clear that you're
the character
you're having a little fun.
No, she's amazing. I would never say that.
No, dude. But the second they cut to like them all like having the meeting in the public bar or whatever, like I was just like, dude, this is right up my alley. Like, yes, please make it like even more crazy and more complicated than it could possibly be. Please twist everything in on itself. But again, the balls to just like, it's done. I'm not making another one of these.
That's my brilliant.
Like, I wanted to make a secret trilogy. I did it, and this is how I'm ending it. Like, it's the most anti-comic book thing in the world to do right now, and he just fucking kills all of his characters. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yes.
Also, Sam Jackson.
Bruh.
I love that he's... The whole movie, you're like, why the fuck is this shit called Glass? I'm feeling bad for him. I'm like, dude, like, what? This is supposed to be Elijah's movie, right? Like, what the hell is going on? And then just... When it turns on, I'm like, all right, let's get comfortable.
Here we go.
And then, of course, you have McAvoy just acting up a storm, and you also have my biggest question mark going into it was: is he gonna come to play? Is he gonna be dialed in? Is he gonna be, there for it, or is he gonna be phoning in?
Is he just gonna cop out and just not do?
100%. Is he gonna cop out? Is he going to?
We'll just call it that from now on. That's what he does. Just cop out. That's it.
He, not at all, man.
No,
he always shows up for M. Night, and it was glorious.
The tiniest little piece that I fucking loved was that, like, oh yeah, of course, fucking Kevin's dad was on that train too. Why would he not be?
Oh, of course.
Fucking brilliant, dude.
Of course.
Like, I mean, I kind of think low key that M. Night's just like, he's kind of had it all this time. And he's been selectively fucking up so that we don't remember that he does have it. Yeah. And this is just a way to show us.
I feel like this gets mentioned everywhere with his recent output. But bottom line, he put that shit out himself. He paid for that movie by himself.
Yes.
So if you don't like it, it's okay. Nobody's hurting. Nobody's giving him money to make this garbage, as you may see it. He is doing exactly what the fuck he wants to do. And he's
And
putting
who
up
else
his
can say that?
own money to do it.
Who else can say that in Hollywood? Like,
Very,
honestly.
very few people. I cannot wait to see what he does next. I thought Glass was an absolutely glorious end to a trilogy that I didn't know that I was ever going to get, and I am all
The trilogy you didn't know
happy
you
for
wanted.
it. Oh no, I knew I wanted it. I just didn't. I can't describe the end of Split in the theater with Mom.
He
as
spent
one
$20
of the most
million
incredible
on that movie
experiences. Yeah.
and made $247 million. That dude's smart, man. Like all the shit people gave him for not doing what they wanted him to do, I can appreciate him even more now.
He's got it together.
All right.
Okay.
The last.
This is a laundry
Yeah, dude.
list.
I promise you. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. Just real quick, I had to because it was there. Fucking Aliens was on, so I watched it, and then I was like, "Well, 3's available now." Fucking hate 3 still, and then I was like, "Well, the first special edition's on. I gotta watch that." So I watched them like 2, 3, 1 of Aliens. I've introduced a friend of mine to Walk Hard, still holds up, and I watched Magic Mike to go to sleep one night. But the last one I want to talk to you about is a little movie called Low Tide. You ever heard of it? You ever seen it?
I've heard the title.
Yeah, it's on Prime. It's free. It's pretty good. It's set in the late 70s, 80s summer. It's two brothers. Their dad they're on the New England shore kind of area, not the Jersey Shore, but maybe where the Hamptons are, or whatever. Dad's away on a fishing boat.
Okay.
And it's over the summer. They kind of break into houses and shit. Well, they found out this old man dies. They go to his house, and the two brothers find this thing of coins, and it's worth about 90 grand. But there's a really crazy psycho leader of this gang that kind of finds out what they're doing and shit. Got a lot of mud aspects to it in terms of they got boys on a boat growing up kind of deal, but more of a gang. There's a little bit more of a gang thing to it.
Have you ever seen Undertow?
No.
Dermot Mulroney, Josh Lucas,
Oh.
a young Jamie Bell, if I'm not mistaken, and I forget the other actor. Directed by Mr. David Gordon Green.
Oh shit.
And it is basically the single father raising two boys. The mother has died, I forget, or run off, one of the two. Very low income, very poor. All of a sudden, his crazy brother shows up, his criminal ex-convict brother, and he's looking for something. So there's elements of Night of the Hunter baked into it. It's kind of like it's like if you took Night of the Hunter, mixed it with a little bit of Tom Sawyer, but put a modern spin on it at the same time. Really good movie. But I literally thought you were describing Undertow for the first little bit of that with the coins and everything, because there's a fortune stash at the house, if I remember correctly. Haven't seen that movie in years, but
And this could be somebody copy of that. But the kicker, the local cop in this movie that's making sure that, he's figuring out what's going on with these break-ins. Just take a guess. We love him. We both love him. Texas guy.
okay. Lucas Black? I don't know.
No.
Who? What are we talking about?
Shea Wiggum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Wiggs is in it, dude. He's the cop. Their dad is 96. There's not been a father role. But I have to show you the two kids. But in watching that, it showed me this thing with a kid.
You telling me this movie's wigging out?
This movie is wigging out. Low Tide is wigging out, son.
Shea Wiggum all over this thing.
The kid that's the menacing kid, he looks like a cross between if you took Emil Hirsch and River Phoenix and they had a child, it would be this menacing kid. But it's his daddy's a rich lawyer. I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay, Low Tide.
Low Tide. Check it out.
Okay.
But it sent me to this other movie with your boy Timothy Chalamet.
Who said he's my boy?
I don't know. You mentioned him on the last one.
Because I knew how to say his name correctly. Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet. I
Chalamet,
started watching.
if you will. That's
Well,
yeah.
I started watching this summer movie about him and in selling drugs, weed with some
Hot Summer Nights.
That's it. I gotta finish it, dude.
Okay.
Was it good?
Haven't seen it.
Okay, never mind. I'll watch it myself. I'll finish it myself.
Okay.
Do it in post.
Do that. Let me know how it is.
So should I go to my TV app and watch it now?
Jesus.
Talk about The Outsider?
We can talk about The Outsider. Why don't we take a little musical interlude? What do I want to play? What have I been listening to lately? You ever heard of Cocteau Twins?
Cocteau? Like the
French playwright.
9
after my two favorite body parts. Exactly. Cocteau Twins.
No.
Mid 80s, I guess a little bit into the 90s. I forget where they're from.
Are you talking about the Thompson twins?
No. But I'm going to play a song called Cherry Colored Folk. And we'll listen to that for a little bit, and then we'll come back, and we'll hop aboard the TV arc. Saw a lot of shit.
I told you we should.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that little interlude from the Cocteau Twins, or excuse me, just Cocteau Twins. There's no the at the front of the title of the band.
Oh.
And that's a perfect segue into the TV arc because one of my favorite movies is becoming a TV show, and it starts in like a week. It's called High Fidelity.
Oh.
It's gonna be on Hulu.
Oh shit.
I'm very excited.
I feel like I'm missing out. Not going on Hulu as much as I should.
You should check it out. High Fidelity is like still one of my top 5 all-time favorite movies. Yes, I'm
see
aware of the joke.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But seriously, it is. I think it's probably like my 3rd or 4th. It's up there.
It's an amazing novel. I'll give it that.
Agreed. Anyways, they're turning into a show for Hulu, and they're flipping it. You know, they're modernizing it. You got to change things up. Zoe Kravitz is the owner of the record store.
Robin, is that her name?
I'm hoping so.
It's
if she's not named Robin and they're referring to her as Rob, I kind of am just like, you guys fucked up from the get-go. I can't invest in this show.
No.
I assume as much. I haven't looked at the cast listing, but they do have a trailer out. I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued. Looks funny. Looks good. Like, you know, it's modern. I'm down for it. I'm gonna start watching it. I don't know if it's a week-to-week thing, but drops on Valentine's Day, as does The Real Bros of Simi Valley.
Oh my God.
Season 3
God.
coming to Facebook Watch. One of the best comedy programs in recent memory. Season 2, flat out 10 out of 10 for me. I didn't put it on a list last year because it's one of those weird ones where it technically started at the tail end of 2018 and finished its run in 2019, I think in like February. So, yeah, I didn't know quite where it would sit. But that season was a masterpiece as far as I was concerned. Season 3 looks to be even better. We got Christopher McDonald last season as Dunk's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And then this season, just in the trailer, Jay Chandrasekhar is showing up at some point. Christopher McDonald's back, feuding with his son, Dunk Surf. I can't.
Steve-O, I didn't sell out. I bought it.
Pete Davidson, if you're into that, he's going to be in
Davidson,
this. And then I think some other crazy cameos, but it looks good, man. I don't know. Zan's going to ask Molly to marry him. Like, Bryce is going to try to become a lawyer, apparently. I don't know. Wade has a new girlfriend, so I'm excited to see how that plays out. Can't wait to hang out with my bros again for another season. That show is incredible. It's on Facebook. You have it. You don't have to pay for it. It's not another app, guys. Just go on Facebook, type in Real Bros, Simi Valley, and start watching it because it's amazing. And you may still have to go back to YouTube to watch the first season.
Okay.
I forget. I don't know if they've converted them over or what, but technically season 2 was the start of it being on Facebook Watch because it originated as a YouTube web series. Yeah, Real Bros of Simi Valley coming back. So those are on the horizon. Those are things I'm excited for. I mentioned the last time you and I spoke that I had started Succession. I have now finished Succession. I finished Succession in like 6 days because oh my God, the second I was just like, I really like the show, it immediately became one of those where I was just like, just put it in my eyeballs like as quickly as possible. I need more and more. And then as soon as I finished it, of course, I was like, so season 3's like how many months away? Maybe I should just start rewatching this. Incredible show. Fantastic dialogue. Just some of the best, like, just burns since probably, I guess, like Mad Men is the last time I felt like so satisfied by just like intelligent people, and in this case like some really dumb fucking people as well who think they're really smart. Just putting each other down, and just like the debauchery of being rich and disgusting, and like it just I hate all of these characters, and I love to watch everything they do at the same time.
Yeah.
Kieran Culkin is incredible if you're a Kieran Culkin fan. Jeremy Strong, kind of a discovery for me. I've never really seen him in anything. He's the lead.
Hey, he was in that Matt McConaughey movie.
He's in The Gentleman, yes. The Guy Ritchie movie that just came out.
No, I meant the other one.
Serenity. He's also in that. Yep.
I was this close
Serenity.
to going to see The Gentleman the other night, dude, because it was on in Columbia. I was like, fucking Guy Ritchie? I knew this was coming.
No, that was the next one. And like after we saw Bad Boys for Life, I was like, well, logically, the next step is we go see The Gentleman, because that's Guy Ritchie trying to get back to his roots, and like it's been a while, and can he do it? And like the cast looks good and the trailers look good, but I don't know. And then I heard really mixed things about it, but I also was the kind of things I was hearing about it, I was like, oh, so I'm gonna love this, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking
just
love it.
like, yeah, okay. I guess Rock and Rolla was the last time out with like the what we think of as a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
Before he basically was just doing Sherlock and,
Solo. No.
and King Arthur. No, I'm just like he kind of got trapped in like
liked King
big.
Arthur.
Didn't see it.
People didn't show up for it, but
I didn't see Aladdin either. Did you watch Aladdin?
Did he do Aladdin?
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin?
That's how anonymous it is. That's what I'm saying. You had no idea he directed that,
You're
right?
fucking with me, dude. Don't lie to me.
Fucking look it up right now.
Jeez.
Yes, Guy Ritchie directed that Aladdin movie from last year.
Did he owe somebody money or a favor? Like, what the hell?
He and Madonna have kids together. I assume that's what
I
it
can
is.
get, all right, I can get behind that. Like, you can do something that you want your
They
kids
do.
to.
They have like 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
From their marriage, I assume.
It was that time where she, like, developed a British accent for no reason, being from New York and all. I remember that.
Swept away.
Forgot about Swept Away.
It's the movie of that summer, man.
I'm sure it was.
Really made an impression on me.
Wow.
Never seen Swept Away, to be clear. Never seen it. Are you just truly mind blown that he
Aladdin,
directed
dude.
it?
Whoa.
I told you. How
Revolver.
do we do this? Yeah, Revolver was the like, oh, I went one step too far in trying to like just do my thing over and over again. And then Rock and Rolla was the like, hey, no, I still got it. I got it. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to take a break for a minute because I'm going to do Sherlock and then Sherlock 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a little bit more of a break. Maybe a kid's growing up. I'm going to do The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I watched.
Still have not seen. That is on my like.
That's really.
I want to catch up with that at some point.
I've never seen the original TV show.
Okay,
but
you
Hammer.
do realize that we're on the TV arc now.
But you realize you just told me that he directed Aladdin, and
Yeah,
I
I
just
did.
cannot believe that. And of course, he has this movie called Cash Truck. I don't know what that the hell that's
That's
about.
upcoming.
Yeah,
Okay,
look at the cast.
I can't see it from here.
Number one on the call sheet: Jason Statham, followed by Scott Eastwood,
Okay, cool,
and that's about all the people in there that I would care about.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. TV.
Mm-hmm.
The only current thing I'm watching is The Outsider on HBO. Are you up to date?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking up to and including episode 5, and we're
Yes.
talking spoilers, I guess. So if you're not watching The Outsider, maybe now's the time where you turn off the episode. You know, we'll give you a second to do that if you want to, if you haven't already. If you're still here, how are you feeling?
I'm terrified.
Okay.
After dude, that last fucking episode, I could not get to sleep later. I shit you not, dude.
What really got to you in that one? The
The
encounter with Ralph's
with
wife, or that was pretty unsettling.
it's not scary. It's not like you don't see. Listen, what violence have you seen on screen that is so unspeakable besides the shooting of Terry Maitland?
Nothing. No, it's
You've
all the
never seen
aftermath.
The
more
Outsider
than
do something.
anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same way True Detective is a lot, And what did I talk about? Mindhunter is a lot of aftermath, but just that hood figure and her getting up and stepping on the glass and him talking, the way he talks and what he's saying, and how she's just like, yeah, this happened, dude. Like,
Or the voice is what did it for
so
me
pragmatic.
immediately.
Yes, the voice.
Yeah.
But he hears it, and like Mendelssohn's like, wait, so what? Somebody was in the house? What the fuck? And she's like, that's not important, dude. Like, he told you to stop doing this.
Right.
And like, for her to be like, yeah, who cares? Someone was in here. Who cares? The dude told you to fucking stop, or we're both gonna die. Like, that's what she keys in on, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing? And the woman playing the woman on the what's her name?
Cynthia Erivo is the actress.
Yes,
Holly Gibney.
Holly. Yes, I love her portrayal as someone who is like, got it.
Find the words.
She's on the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's very good stuff.
I don't think we've seen a female in that role since
You've
maybe
seen
like
Bad
the
Times of the
Bridge.
El Royale, correct?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
She was great in that.
I mean, I've yet to see any. I've heard Harriet is just kind of whatever, and people are kind of surprised that she was nominated. But everything I have seen her in, including Widows, I guess.
I need to watch that. I saw that pop up on HBO. I gotta watch that.
She continues to kind of blow my mind. So, no, I'm enjoying her as well. The one thing I'm feeling, and this is not, I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I'm not like trying to take it into a downer territory. I'm a little weary of the fact that we're just now halfway through. Not excited. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm kind of like, where is this going? Because I feel like we should be ramping towards an end game right now, like episode 8, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if it's.
How many episodes do we have now? What is this, number 5?
This was 5.
So the next one will be 6, 7. So we have 3 more left.
No, we have 5 more left. It's 10 episodes.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Is I'm very much like, is this gonna go on too long? Is there too much to reveal? Is it gonna get too twisty? Is it gonna double back on itself? Like where, I feel like
Are we going to have an episode 7 of a Netflix flashback that has nothing to do to move the story forward, but it's there to make it a full 10?
I am curious because I do feel a little bit like I do like the pace of episodes, but in the grand scheme of things, it is kind of incredible the amount of plot and how much motion there is to it just in the first like 15 minutes of the pilot.
Yeah.
And the way that they're cross-cutting between he's already been arrested, we're showing you the build-up to that decision, all of that stuff. And they haven't really gone as nuts with the editing throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I don't want to say it feels wheel spinny right now. I feel like we simultaneously should be further along in the story right now, or what conclusion we're building to. But the fact that we are like, it seems like we kind of know what it is. It's just going to be a means of like everybody getting on the same page, basically. She's got to convince them, which it seems like that's what the next episode is basically her trying to like, you guys need to buy into this shit, presenting all of her evidence. So, all I'm saying is I'm a little weary of the 10 episode run, and I'm a little bit like, why isn't it just 8? Like, you know, True Detective felt very comfortable with like, that's the link we need for the story we're going to tell. And 10, and, you know, Watchmen, where it's like, that felt like that could have been 10 or 12 or 13 episodes, and it probably would have been incredible, but it's 9, oddly. And so the simple fact that this one is 10 leads me to believe like they know what they're doing. Obviously they need 10 episodes, otherwise they just would have made it a little shorter because HBO doesn't have like strict rules apparently. I don't know.
Maybe that's it. Maybe
what they
it's
need
like
to fill.
You launched new show last year, True Detective 8, Watchmen in the fall 9, new show in January 10. Next one we'll get 11.
Possibly. I don't know.
Knows?
But so I'm still totally on board and enjoying it. If anything, I'm just like, just don't fuck it up. Like I don't want it to go off the rails or get weird or whatever. And I feel like, again, 5 episodes is a lot of time for something to go wrong in a bad way. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. I am engaged. Unlike your True Detectives, if you will, though, can't really. It's not a who did it. Like, let me figure out the mystery. It's just like it is this thing. We want to understand more about like how it works, I guess.
And see that shit that's been my
How
favorite
far
part
reaching
of
it is and everything. But that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, I don't think you can really like theory craft on that the way people like to do online, where they're like, I'm going to figure it out before the show reveals it. I'm like, well, there's also the book already. It's an adaptation of that. But just like, yeah. I'm interested to see where it goes, and also when things start to truly like butt heads between the very grounded reality of the show,
Yeah.
and the supernatural. So
Because that's the thing. That is the one thing I would worry about, because it's like we talked about. What were you talking to me about? Where you were like, it's like Leftovers. You were telling me how Leftovers was done in such a way that like everything could be taken as like this one way.
Never stepped over the line either way.
Yeah.
Faith or supernatural. Like,
Exactly.
well, you could consider both supernatural, but it was always, is there a logical explanation for this, or is there a more ethereal, divine explanation for this? And it never answered one way or the other.
Exactly.
Ever.
And I think with what we've seen so far, minus with seeing the little bit of like Terry Maitland with the blood on his mouth, the different doppelganger of him or whatever, I feel like you can ride that line of like everything you've seen from this thing, the outsider, is all real. There is no supernatural element to it. You could even argue that like the thing that's happened with dudes, the cop with his neck and whatnot. Yeah, okay, maybe that's like a Mr. Sinister, I'm controlled, whatever kind of like creepy voice dude. Or it could literally just be like this guy got bit by something out in the woods and he's having like an allergic reaction, and
Right.
it's fucking with his mind. He got a bad tick bite or something like that. So it's not jumped that whole like
And I guess
complete supernatural yet, but it's given you enough to be like, well, hey, multiple cultures have these things. You know, Germans call it doppelganger. This is what were you afraid of when you were a kid? All these different things.
I would love for, and again, I don't know where the story goes. I have specifically avoided any descriptions of the novel, but I would love a world in which like we get to episodes 8, 9, and 10, and it kind of feels like season 2 of Twin Peaks or something, and it's just like way the fuck out there, and everybody's on board with just like, all right, we're just gonna fucking follow this thing to the end. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so, I mean, it's the most exciting thing on television right now, to me, yeah. The Outsider, HBO.
Sundays, 9 o'clock.
Nobody's listening if they aren't watching already.
Oh, yeah,
so
they know.
there we
Yeah.
go. Any other TV you want to talk about, bro?
Yeah, I watched second season Lost in Space.
Okay.
Enjoyed it.
It's a Netflix one, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Any more thoughts on it? Anything you want to share?
I mean, it's one of those you either I feel like you love it or you don't. You were on board for the first season.
I never really heard.
Yeah.
I never really heard
The only, I mean,
super positive or super negative. And when things kind of go middle of the road on Netflix, I tend to just like skip right over them most of the time. Never took a chance on it.
Well, you know, I watched AJ and the Queen.
Yeah,
With
the whole
RuPaul.
thing.
Fucking loved it. Dude.
Yeah,
Oh, it was so awesome.
Thought the trailer was great. Haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I am almost done with Medical Police.
Oh god.
Did you watch Medical Police?
I've watched like the first 3 episodes. Fucking stupid, ridiculous. I love it.
Very enjoyable.
I watched the Aaron Hernandez 3-parter. I don't know if you
Still not gotten to it. Love to talk with you about it more in the
Fucking
future.
sad. Watched the 3-part BBC Dracula miniseries.
Okay. Okay.
The guy they got, dude. I mean, he looks like
looks like Dracula.
No, what I'm saying, like he looks
This
like
motherfucker
He looks like if Christopher
Dracula.
Bruh, if Christopher Lee and Lugosi had a child, it would be this dude. I swear to God. Swear to God, Snake. Yeah, no, that's bad. I mean, yeah, that's the only. Those are only 3. That's only like 3 outside the Outsider. I want to go back and look at Homecoming because I didn't realize that Homecoming was Ismail's second show. And somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching this." I'm like, "Oh fuck, yeah."
So it's very late at the moment, so I have not watched it. But are you aware of Briar Patch?
No, what's that?
It's gonna be on USA.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's produced by Esmail, but it's gonna be show run by Andy Greenwald, who I know from the Ringer Network. So I've been hearing about the show for like the last year and a half because he's been in production on it and everything. But it is a like I think, a detective mystery show of some sort with Rosario Dawson as the lead. And there's a bunch of other people, and I believe it's based on a book, if I'm not mistaken. Trailers look good.
Is everybody
The premiere was tonight.
The trailer. They're all in frame, right?
What
That's a joke about Mr. Robot. Is that like every Ismail thing that no one is ever in the center of a shot like they should be. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, look at Rami Malek's face down here, but like here's this giant building behind him, and like what the hell? Or like here's these two people talking on a street corner, the sprawling landscape, and something happens to them, and I'm not even aware of it because they're not traditionally where they should be, and I love that about that show. Like, to the point if anybody makes a parody of it, all you have to do is just put someone slightly left or slightly right of center frame, and you can make a really funny parody of Mr. Robot. And it's kind of half the reason I was watching Homecoming, just to see how that panned out. I went back to Jack Ryan and finished the first season. Hey, Johnny Krasinski. He's
okay.
Yeah, he's got Smart Pack, and he's got a clicker. And he's
okay.
Yeah.
Super Bowl happened recently. I guess that's TV related. If you want to talk about any of the ads.
Well, yeah, I won $20, so that was cool.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Five. Yeah, I thought the Momoa one was pretty dope.
Five's gonna come and hang out with us.
That one I showed you, obviously the Hyundai one. I'm trying to think of the other one I thought was really hilarious.
The Bill Murray Jeep one,
yes.
I did thoroughly enjoy. I watched about half of the broadcast.
Yeah.
Watched the halftime show, and then was pretty much done.
Yeah. We're not gonna
I was furious. I turned it off.
One of these old members came in like Tuesday. He's like, "You watch Super Bowl halftime show?" And I'm like, God damn it, man. I knew you would say something about it because he's one of those guys. Like he's one I think I told you about. It's like he's played as a musician in like all these bands. Like played for James Brown, played for the Gap Band, all that way back in the day. He's an older white guy. Like
I think my favorite post meme was moms at last year's Super Bowl, or like it was basically like Adam Levine, and they're all like, "Oh my god!" like losing their shit, and then it's J-Lo and Shakira, and they're like, "This is horrible." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was funny.
I did a great job of describing that meme.
Mm-hmm. What was the other one? What was the other commercial I was just thinking of? Like it just popped into my head, and it's gone now.
Okay, well then perhaps we should move right along.
Yeah.
It was an okay Super Bowl.
Oh, Post Malone.
Didn't see that one.
He's like,
perhaps you can show it to me.
It's so good. It's so ridiculous because like they go to like the inner body, and everybody that's like inside of him, they're all tatted up and they all have face tattoos. It's so stupid, but it's so good. I'll show it to you.
Okay.
And I only mention that because apparently they are going to be releasing a video soon, but they have. I watched some footage of Ozzy performing his song with him for the first time in a long. I think it was American Music Awards or something, or it might have been somewhere else.
The Grammys?
Was it? I don't know if it was the Grammys. I don't think so, but it was dope. And apparently, Post will be here soon, and Ozzy's going to be in Colombia in June. So,
well, okay.
Keep an ear out in case we decide to go do that.
Any other TV related thoughts? Because if not, we'll do a brief little music segment, and then we'll get the hell out of here, because it is 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shit. Altered Carbon's coming back, and so is Ozark. Ozark's
I
in
saw
March.
Anthony Mackie is now a part of Altered Carbon. Was he in the first season?
Yes, I believe he was. He kind of comes in at the very end.
Okay. I didn't watch. Perhaps I should catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little slim pickings first part of the year. Like I said, there's some stuff mid-February I'm very excited about. It's like in the weeks to come. But mainly, we're excited for the Oscars coming up.
I'll go ahead and put my money on it. 1917 Best Picture. I'll go ahead and I'll do that.
Okay. So, as has been basically the discussion for the last several weeks, it's 1917 versus Parasite. I have Parasite down as my preferred pick. You have 1917. So we shall see how it all shakes out on Sunday. One last thing I'm looking forward to. I'm just going to reveal this to you on the podcast. I'm not bragging. I don't want you to be upset. It's just something that's happening. Okay? In September, I'm going to Chicago. Going to a little thing called Riot Fest. Do you know why I'm going to Riot Fest?
Don't you sit there.
He's grimacing.
Don't you sit there and tell me about you going to Riot Fest. I don't want to fucking do it.
You could get a ticket.
I could.
Or you could go to the Midtown Music Festival in Atlanta, Georgia. We're from Georgia. We're not. That was a line from Men in Tights.
What part of Georgia you from? I ain't quite figured that part out yet.
Okay. Did you guess it?
Who you gonna go see, Noah? Who's at Riot Fest?
My Chemical Romance.
Fuck you. I asked you if you want to go to Osaka. You couldn't even bother to tell me about Chicago and Riot Fest.
I didn't know that this was a possibility. I was gifted a ticket. My buddy Tim, who lives in Chicago, bought 2 tickets and surprised me with one. So all I have to do is get myself up there.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah. Also, hey, Tim, fuck you, man. Fuck you. I introduced this kid to that band, okay? I'm sorry, I love you, Tim.
And now he buys the tickets.
I know, he
It's
does.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's happening. You can still buy a ticket. I think Barham's going to buy a ticket and go.
To Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Windy City.
I'm going to
That's what
Florida.
they tell me. Hey, it's just what they tell me. I don't know.
Watch out for that man in the
true.
white. Oh, never. Is it the man in the white castle?
What?
Is it the man,
The Man in the White Castle?
What
the
is it?
High Castle?
No, the book, the H.H. Holmes thing. The Man in the White Tower.
Devil in the White City?
White City, that's it. Watch out for that devil in the White City.
Was that Chicago?
He killed everybody at the Chicago World's Fair.
I thought it was the New York World's Fair.
No, it's Chicago, right on the riverbanks, because he set up the house to where people would want to stay. Because it was like, oh shit, it's Chicago World's Fair, we got to stay here. Well, you never checked out.
We are not ending this podcast
talking
by talking about
H.H.
H.H. Holmes.
Yeah. Well, much like H.H. Holmes, Noah, you stabbed me in the back when I least expected it. No, seriously, that's awesome. I'm taking 2 weeks to go to Florida this year. I'm going the last week of April, first week of May. If I have PTO after that at any point, I might try and do that. But I think I'll just one up you guys and just go to Atlanta and just do my own thing.
You should.
Yeah. Tell you about how much better the show was there.
You should try and get tickets now.
Are they? Is
Very
it
soon.
nothing new? Is it just old stuff they're going back and doing? Nothing. They're not dropping anything new, right?
They might after all this is said and done, but no, man,
About
it's
fucking
just a
time.
fucking greatest hit set. What do you care? The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Not in our town.
I
But,
swear to
you
God,
know.
Noah, if you call me like you called Barham and said, Gavin, guess what? You're not Gavin. I will be here waiting on you when you get home.
All right.
But I seriously hope you do go have a great time. I'm going to forget that you're going. You're going to remind me again, and I'm going to get just as mad later on. So it is what it is.
Okay. Well, I guess we should ride out on some MCR.
Yeah,
maybe.
sure.
What's the most aggressive?
No.
Yeah, I guess
it's like
we
you're
should probably-
teasing me that you're fucking going, and I'm not.
Might as well. All right. Well, until next time, I've been Noah.
And I've been Gavin.
And we've been the Blanchard Brothers, and this has been the ARK of E Podcast.
Drugs, give me drugs, I don't need it, but I'll sell what you got. Take the cash and I'll keep it 8 legs to the wall. Hit the gas, kill 'em all, and we crawl. Keep people detonator. Love, give me love, I don't need it, but I'll take what I want from your heart, and I'll keep it in a bag, in a box. Put an X on the floor, give me more. Shut up and sing it with me. From all security to every enemy. We're on your property, standing in free formation. We're pulling out a raid in plastic surgery. Keep your apology, give us more detonation.
Don't mean too much to me.
Thanks for listening.
Do
What?
I have to be? These kids are after me. After you.
Gravity! We're not doing that
Nope.
one. Okay. Moving right along. All right. Till next time. Post Oscars. We'll be
Yes.
back next week. And, also, Gavin he's going to reveal his top 20 favorite films of the decade. He was a little upset that he wasn't on the episode in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to correct that. He's not really that upset. He didn't say a word about it. I said, hey, you want to do your top 20 next week? And he was like,
oh, yeah, I got to go back to the computer and get them all printed
so we
off.
will have a post-Oscar wrap-up and Gavin's top 20 of the 2010s next week.
Gonna be wicked smart. Gonna be wicked fun.
As promised. Yes. Okay.
Can't wait.
So now we're done. I don't know if this is a bumper
Me
or
neither.
if it's, maybe we already nod.
Just no. Just give me a shot to remember.
All right.
You can take all the pain away from me. I mean,
All right. I think we're
gallons
done.
of the stuff.